I was driving along in Hermitage, looking for my buddy Mark, and I got lost along the way. So I decided to take a shortcut, went down the dirt road, and I felt there was something different going on in the air, something a little creepy. And I looked down the road. It was a steep road, very steep road, scary. And the wind was blowing. And I looked, and I said, I don't know whether it was a ghost or the devil. But one thing I know, it looked real. It looked very real.
Hello, and welcome to Ghost in the Valley. I'm your host, Al Cooley. This week's episode is called Hermitage, Pennsylvania. The sound clip you just heard at the beginning was from Arthur Adams, who played Pepper Jones in my 1998 documentary, Ghost in the Valley. Ghost in the Valley consists of 6 small features of true ghost stories. The very first one was Hermitage, Pennsylvania. The gentleman I had playing Pepper Jones canceled at the last minute. Kelly Cook, who played the ghost on the bridge, is a seasoned actress, and she was from the area. I didn't know the area very well, but Kelly did. Kelly knew about the legend of a girl that was raped, mutilated under this bridge in Hermitage. So she was quite scared, even though she's a young lady, she was quite scared to be on this bridge by herself. So she wanted me to assure her I would have somebody under the bridge while we were taping the episode. I did. That's why I took Arthur Adams along with me. But on the way, like I said, my actor that played Pepper Jones, or was to play Pepper Jones, canceled. So once I hooked up with Kelly Cook in Hermitage, I explained to her we were down to just 3 people, Kelly, Arthur, and myself. Now, we could have canceled the shoot and rescheduled for another day, but she was into it. She said she don't know if she had her courage up and said she don't know if she could do this again. So we agreed to go ahead and proceed with the filming. Arthur will now play the part of Pepper Jones. Arthur did a very great job, but my concern was leaving Kelly Cook on that bridge by herself while we traveled down the road filming, because Arthur was driving the car. I was up out of the sunroof videotaping the scenery and the road that led down to the bridge. And when we got to the bridge, then Kelly would be standing on the bridge looking straight at the car. That's how the story went. And once the car got to the bridge, she would disappear and the car would just die. Nothing. I mean, engine, lights, radio, everything's out. So Pepper Jones gets out of the car, and he's looking for the woman that was just standing on the bridge. He looked on both sides. There was nothing there. So he got back in his car, and when he left, the ghost of the woman that was killed there at that spot Of course, Pepper didn't know this, but the ghost was in his back seat. So when he was driving off, he looked in the rearview mirror, and there she was. And that's the basis of the story. When I was asking for ghost stories back in '98, I had put out in numerous newspapers and internet ads for true ghost stories. To my surprise, I had like three different stories from the same bridge involving the same woman. And all three letters involved their car stopping on the bridge, and there's a ghostly figure of a woman standing on the bridge just looking at them, not blinking, not talking, just staring right at them. And all three, for some reason, got out of their car, and when they did, she was gone. Now this is three different stories from the same bridge. So when I was explaining that to Kelly said she knew about the legend. She knew about the girl that was killed there, raped, dismembered, and she was quite concerned about her own safety on that bridge by herself. Now it only took a small, I would say less than 2 minutes for us to drop her off at the bridge, go back up the hill, get up out of the in the sunroof of the car, and set the video cameras up, and start rolling down the hill to the bridge. Like I said, less than probably 2 minutes. But in that 2 minutes time, Kelly Cook, who played the ghost, was petrified. But I give her a lot of credit hanging in there and doing her the best that she could for a small part. And Kelly is now a great actress in Hollywood, starred in many shows and movies, and she's just a great actress. And I want to thank Kelly for her playing the ghost from Hermitage. When I was looking for actors and actresses, I found a company out of Youngstown called La Modelin, the talent agency run by Linda Weaver. When I contacted Linda and told her what I exactly needed, a few actors and actresses for a ghost video documentary that I was filming, she set me up with an appointment so I can interview, do some auditions with some actors and actresses. When I got to La Modelin, I didn't know. I mean, there was a line going out the door. I mean, probably 35 people or so. And they were all there waiting to see me to audition. Not only that, but Linda gave me probably 100 headshot photos of actors and actresses and their bio on the back of the photo. So I had a lot to go through and try to pick out who would be good for which part, and so she was very helpful. I'm going to give a shout out to Linda Weaver at La Modelin. She's still there. Matter of fact, 21 years later, she's still running the agency, still supplies actors and actresses and models to TV commercials, national movies. I mean, she's well known. She's a great person and a great agent. So a shout out to Linda Weaver. And this is how I got a hold of Kelly Cook, through La Modelin. Now, Arthur Adams, on the other hand, was a good friend of mine who I worked with outside the video industry. He agreed to go along just as the state bodyguard for Kelly Cook. He was going to stand under the bridge while Pepper Jones got out of the car. Or me and Pepper was going to head down to the bridge. But since Pepper, the actor that played Pepper Jones, never showed up, Arthur stepped in and did a wonderful job. Okay, we did the video shoot, and everybody did a great job. And I told Arthur, just go ahead and take Kelly up the hill in the car, and I was going to remain down in the valley by the bridge and get some video shots of the area. While I was down there by myself, I kept hearing weird noises, and I kept saying, "Okay, that's just my imagination running away with me." Sounds like sounds like a song I heard years ago. Anyway, I was down in the valley, and I heard like howling noise, a growling noise, and okay, I took my shots and got my extra footage that I was looking for, and I'm like, Arthur was supposed to come back and pick me up, but maybe we got our signals crossed and he never came back. So I'm down there with my equipment and trying to carry the stuff back up the hill, which wasn't very far, but it was that little distance from that bridge walking back that I really, really felt the presence in there. I mean, I felt like the back of your ear being flicked, like not by a bug but by like a finger, like flicking your ear. A hand on like your back. And I kept talking to myself, like, it's just your imagination, but then like blowing on my face, like blowing in my ear, and there was no wind at that time. And I made it back up the hill, and that really scared the crap out of me. I mean, that little short distance. I can imagine how Kelly felt down there by herself on that bridge while we were getting ready to come back down the hill to do the shoot. I got back to Kelly, thanked her, took her back to her car, and I just thought she seemed a little bit startled from the thing, but she said she was quite fine. And that was basically it. I mean, that was 1998. I got a lot of response from that short video, the documentary. I mean, there was 6 short stories. That one got the most response, I believe. And a lot of people knew the area. And you talk about getting proof, okay? Where's the proof where the girl was murdered there, raped, dismembered? Well, that's where the story of the legend comes in. I mean, the legend says this, the legend says that, and since I did the video, since I released that documentary 21 years ago, I still get responses back from the bridge. And there's more than one legend to that. I mean, some people, I've had quite a few responses that it was a thing with the KKK, the Ku Klux Klan, back in years and years ago, that they hung a family, a black family, under the bridge, except for one daughter. And when the daughter was going back to pay tribute to the family that was hung under that bridge, she herself was killed and hung under the bridge. So a lot of people say the legend is that's the young black girl, that's her spirit on that bridge. And I kind of got the same story from a Hermitage police officer who basically told me the same thing. That's why you wouldn't find it. That, some things they just try to keep quiet. I don't know. I mean, there's not a record of it. But the legend says and quite a few legends, that it was the KKK. The other legend I heard was it was a young girl hung under the bridge. And yet still there's another one that says if you drive up to the bridge, don't drive on the bridge, but drive up before the bridge, and you leave your car keys on the bridge for 5 minutes, at least 5 minutes. Then take your car keys and go back to your car, and the car won't start. Well, I've had 2 different people that I know, they tried this experiment. One, she left her car keys on the bridge, waited 5 minutes, and her car started. So she said she didn't believe that. But another friend of mine who did the same thing, but he did it after midnight. He says the key was to do it after midnight and wait 7 minutes. So he waited 7 minutes, and his car did not start. Not only did his car not start, but there was a green light, like a lantern, coming up from the bridge, coming straight towards him. He had all of his windows rolled up, the doors locked, and the closer and closer the lantern was getting, the green light was getting, his car still would not start. He said he was scared, petrified. Finally the car started, the light went away, and he drove off. So there's, and that was recently. I made a trip back to Hermitage a couple weeks ago with some friends of ours, and we went back to the bridge. I haven't been there in 21 years. I haven't been there since 1998. In 1998, it was a wooden bridge. It had rails on it, and it was a little steeper. You basically came down the hill, but you had to drive up a little bit to get to the bridge, and it was a little tougher. And I think much more, I don't want to say scarier, but you felt something there back then. When we went a couple weeks ago, they had redone the road. They had redone the bridge. And it didn't seem the same to me. So I don't know if the ghost was disturbed from the reconstruction. It just didn't seem the same. But I'm still getting responses about the bridge. As recently as a couple days ago, matter of fact, a gentleman says that he knew the area and was there in school. They would play pranks or go down to the bridge, and in their case, there was handprints on the side of the car. And also, he knew about the legend of leaving your keys on the bridge. People still do that to this day. Some it works for, some it doesn't. Again, you go to the bridge. You leave your keys on the bridge. 7 minutes later, and your car will not start, and the lantern comes towards you. I plan on making another trip back to the bridge, and you're probably all wondering, what's the name of the bridge? Where is this at? And that was part of the mystery the whole time, is getting, unless you knew the area, you had no way of knowing what the hell I'm talking about. But it was on Hogback Road in Hermitage, Pennsylvania. And they call it the Hogback Bridge. And it just, to me, doesn't seem the same. But I'm going to make another trip back there probably pretty soon. And I may try the key thing myself. I didn't try it when I was there because I didn't know about it then. But I'm going to try that again. I'm going to try leaving my keys on the bridge after midnight for 7 minutes. and seeing my car starts. You can leave your comments and any other ghost story you may want to share. Or if you have one to share about the Hogback Bridge, leave them at cooley54@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter as in Ghost in the Valley. My podcast, Ghost in the Valley, is also available on iTunes, Spotify, iHeart, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, and many others. Links and the description of the story is below this podcast. Thank you for listening. See you in a couple weeks with another episode of Ghost in the Valley, in the Valley, in the Valley.